My name is Harsha, and I'm a customer success manager at Postman. I'm based out of Bangalore in India. A lot of the work I do involves working with administrators through onboarding, implementation, and beyond, as all of them are working on improving their API programs within their companies or organizations. Before we start, I quickly want to take a minute to ensure that if someone's new here, they know what Postman is. So, uh, So Postman is basically a collaborative platform that helps with API development. It's used by more than 30 million people. For many teams, Postman is an everyday tool where they get to work with APIs. And let's head over to the agenda for today. Excuse me. Postman team administrator is a key role in the Postman ecosystem. And in the Postman team, the team relies on the admin to have the know-hows to configure team settings, manage membership, and help organize teams APIs. And here's what we are going to cover today. Postman admins and their goals, managing your Postman team, managing content within your Postman team, which basically is APIs. And we'll also look at roles and permissions, billing and upgrades, and check out some useful resources, and finish off with a Q&A session. And before I actually head over to the first topic of the day, I quickly want to cover off a few housekeeping questions. If you have any questions, like Andrew mentioned before, we are going to be having a Q&A at the end. So, and we also have some folks from the Postman team who will be helping us. So make sure you use the Slido chat on your right side pane to have your questions. So to put out your questions. And let's move over to our first topic. Postman admins and their goals. Postman admins are the people who enable teams and their organizations to work better with APIs and better with APIs across the lifecycle using Postman as a platform. I'm sure many of you will agree with me when I say managing API lifecycle workflows comes with its own challenges. Teams need to maintain multiple versions of an API, assign and control ownership and permissions, and enable smooth collaboration. And admin's role is pretty much to define and structure this whole setup. We'll talk more about how an admin achieves this in the next section, which is managing your Postman team. Here, let's look at how can we get started with setting up your Postman team, inviting team members, setting up authentication if applicable. We'll also look at reporting and resource usage within the Postman team and audit logs. And for this, I'd like to now switch over to a quick demo where I'll be using my Postman instance. So I'm right now on my Postman homepage. I'm using Postman on web, and that's the reason you're seeing Postman on the web browser. So this is the homepage I'm currently in. It's if anyone have not recently opened the web version, it's fairly new. So the experience you might be seeing might be fairly new to some of the new users here. Like I mentioned before actually heading over to a specific section, the admin is responsible for setting up the team right from after purchase, which includes functions like updating the team settings and or even changing it if necessary, inviting team members, updating roles, and beyond. And the first thing I'd like you all to look at is uh, the center section of the screen gives us a way to get started with something inside Postman. If you're building something, this is a place to look at. And you also have an activity feed to the right side. Uh, but where we are headed right now is the manage team section, which is kind of the page where admins work a lot on. So manage team can be accessed from this section right here, or the top right corner under team, you get to navigate to the manage team page. So I'm heading over there now. All right. So the manage team page gives us an overview of everything that you need to be doing to manage your team efficiently. As you can see, there's a summary of the team members that shows up here. Uh, as you can see, there are 4 users out of 10 licenses that I have. And you also get to navigate to other important spaces to manage your team, be it team settings, be it to add user slots or invite users or even manage roles. So one of the first things I'd mention here is to look at uh, to look at the team members itself. So this gives you an overview of all the users in your team. So it's a great way to keep track of how many users are there. If you have pending invites, that will also show up here. And support users is basically a feature in Postman where you can add a couple of users to your Postman team who are only there to do admin and billing tasks. So this is a way to efficiently manage your user licenses. Now let's navigate to the team settings page. The team settings page allows us to do a lot of important settings, starting with setting up your team profile itself. As you can see, uh, my team name is Wayne Enterprises, which is mentioned here, and it also shows up here. I have my cow photo and team logo uploaded. I also have my team URL updated, which essentially means the URL is accessed uh, to navigate to your Postman dashboard, and it also acts as a unique identifier, unique identifier for all the logins. And if you want to update or make any changes, this is the place to do that. You also have an option to update Favicon, which basically uh, comes into picture if you're using Postman as your documentation tool. And if you're making your API documentation public, the Favicon will come into picture. And one of my favorite features in this page is how do you make your team profile public? And what I mean by that is if your team has public APIs, Postman API network is a great place to showcase your APIs for the broader community, both to publish and also for them to leverage your APIs and work on them. I'm certain that all companies want to get their brands look and feel right. So this is a great place to set that up. You also get a public profile URL that shows up on the public API network, which include your APIs, collections, workspaces, and beyond. So this acts as a unique URL for your Postman public profile. And like I mentioned, you get to write about your team and also put in your social media and your website links for broader visibility. I have all this filled up, so I'm just hitting on save. The next feature, which I'm sure a lot of admins would agree that it's super useful because team discovery promotes collaboration. And I'm sure that promoting collaboration across teams in an organization is one of the major goals of tooling admin or even Postman admin. And team discovery eases the onboarding process. So basically what this does is it lets people from your organization see your team and request to join the team. So if there's a Postman user with @postman.com domain who's already using Postman, he can now request to join my team if I enable this. Admins also have an option to customize the question uh, to basically understand which users or what personas are wanting to join your team. And based on their response, you get to either invite them or reject their invite. And then let's head over to custom domains. Custom domains is also an option that's linked with your documentation. So it's essentially where you can serve your documentation and host it on Postman. So if you want to add a new domain, you can follow the domain verification process using this tab. I'm not going to go through it now, but it could be something like api.postman3.com. And now I'll have to go through the whole domain verification flow. And once that is verified, I can basically use this domain in my publishing flow of my documentation. As you can see, it showed up here. And the billing details section is basically a place where you get to fill in your billing address, your company addresses and billing information like email IDs and so on. But let's move on to authentication, which is quite important. Authentication is basically in Postman context is for SSO integration. Single sign-on services make it easy to manage your team identity, adding a layer of governance. And it also reduces phishing, keeping all your sensitive information secure. Teams identity. One prerequisite for setting up SSO with Postman is your team's IDP or identity provider must support SAML 2.0 standard. And the other prerequisite or the other condition to use SSO is available on Postman Business and Enterprise plans. So that's something to keep in mind. And if you want to add a new authentication method, all that you need to do is go through the flow. And the first step is to choose your authentication type from the available identity providers. As you can see, most of the used providers like Okta, ADFS, Ping Identity are here. And I can give it a name. Okay, there's a name that already exists. So I'm just going to say 1. And there is a limitation to your custom auth limit. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to edit one of this and click on proceed. As you can see, once you choose your IDP and give it a name, you'll be directed to configure your IDP details. And this is the place to do that. An important thing to note here is there's an option to automatically add new users using this auth method to your team. Upon checking this, as long as you have licenses available in your team, new users will always be added to your team automatically by following the SSO login method. So I'm not going to go over the configuration now. I'll just hit config later. The next section that we have is roles and permissions. Roles and permissions, I'll dive into the roles and permissions in a few minutes as we progress on the session. But this is a page where you get to see all the roles and permissions and all the roles and the list of permissions that each role has. So it's a place to keep track of all the roles at a team level and also at various different elements like collections, workspaces, APIs. And we'll get to that in a moment. But for now, let's head back to the manage team page, where we look at how we go about sending out invites to users. We can use the invite users tab right here to type in email addresses and add users by clicking on the add button, or we can generate a link using this option and share this link with our end users. You can just share it on email or even like paste it on your Slack or Teams channel where users can now use this link and get into your team. And there's also an option of sending out bulk invites, which I will showcase in a few moments. The next thing I'd like you all to see is the reporting feature in Postman. So I'm heading over to the report section here on the top left side corner on the top bar. And the reporting feature in Postman so right now I'm at the team activity level. So it provides an overview report at an organization level metrics, including new and active users and team size over time. So you get an understanding of your team overview and how it's set up within your Postman instance. And as I scroll down, you'll also find a section that's specific to billing, where you can get to find out details about your plan and your renewal cycle. You also get to look at team activity, which is at a workspace level and at an API level. So all of this is good information to look at a very high level to see how your team is leveraging your Postman instance and be up to date. But what you can also do is you can also look at reporting at an API level, where you get to see reports of all APIs in one go. So this gives me an overview of all the APIs that I have in my team. So I have 3 APIs and I get to find out information about APIs. And as I scroll down, I'll also be able to find out information about my API development workflows, which basically includes mocks, monitors, documentation, and tests. You also get versions by schema type. As you can see, I have a few versions of my OpenAPI 3 specs, and I have a couple of specs that are not defined. So that's something to keep your eye on. And then you might wonder if we can actually check out reports for a specific API. We can do that by going over View Reports by API tab, where I can look at API-specific reports and check the health and performance of each API in my Postman instance. I have only one API in my Postman instance in this team, so we are seeing that here. And that's about reporting. And one thing to note is the reporting feature in Postman is available on the Postman Enterprise plan and not available in the team or business plan. The next kind of reporting I'd want you all to look at is the resource usage page by navigating through the team button right here, top right corner. This page gives an overview of the feature-wise usage against the limits for your current plan. So if you're, so this gives, it also enables the admin to determine if the team needs to upgrade or modify any add-ons like monitor usage or mock usage. If you can see in my screen right now, my monitor usage is clearly showing up. So it might make sense for me to, let's say, head over to modify add-ons and purchase a few monitoring blocks, which would be more economical for my team. So that's what resource usage page is for, and it's super efficient to keep track of how your team is leveraging some of the features that Postman provides. And the last one I wanted to mention is audit logs. Audit logs are a great way to keep track of what's happening in your team instance. You get to know if someone is added to the team, and also you get to know someone is added to the team, someone leaves the team, or just keep an high-level overview of what's happening inside your team. This information can give insights and also while improve security at the same time. And now I'll head back to the presentation to look over our next topic, which is we looked at managing your Postman team. Now let's look at how do you manage content within your Postman team, which is basically APIs. There are four main elements to think about when using Postman to organize your APIs. As you can see here, workspaces, APIs, collections, and environments. Among these four elements, workspaces in Postman are the key to collaboration. Workspaces are structured in a way to help you organize your API workflows. It's a great way to keep track of progress as well. And the other three elements to note within a workspace are APIs, collections, and environments. APIs allow you to define and structure your schema. Collections are there to group your requests together. That will help you build documentation, tests, mocks, and monitors on top of them. And environments help in defining variables to secure information and also segment your APIs based on stages. And let's quickly look at creating a workspace. And to create a workspace, you can navigate to the workspaces tab right here, and then hit on add new workspace. I'm just going to say so I've given my workspace a name, a summary, and now I want to decide the visibility of this workspace. So I can make the workspace personal if I'm the only one that is going to be working on APIs within this workspace. But if I want to collaborate with people in my team, I can make the visibility at a team level. And if I want to make the workspace private only, where it cannot be by default, all the workspaces in Postman by default can be joined from uh, our, our are at a team level visibility, which means that people can see that a workspace exists within your team and can join that. But if you make a workspace private, this will basically make it an invite only workspace. And there's also an option of making it public, which basically means you uh, publish your workspace to the whole world on the Postman API network. And it's a great way to expose your APIs, collections, and everything that you built if you have public APIs. For now, I'm just going to make it at a team level visibility, and I'm going to give everyone access as a collaborator. And that's pretty much it. I have a new workspace that I've created, and this section here gives us an overview of the workspace. You can add descriptions, summaries, and get an activity feed right here whenever you're visiting this workspace from this navbar. Now that we know how to create a workspace, the next thing that you might be wondering is, how do you manage content for your post within this workspace? And One place to begin when thinking about how to organize your collections, environments, and APIs is by domain. Focus on the resources being delivered via APIs and let the value of your APIs dictate how you define these fundamental building blocks of your API operations. And another aspect to think about is when thinking about naming conventions and organization of your elements within Postman is along the lines of business. A company's product and services, it can give us insights into company's product and services and how they have evolved over time, can point to patterns and standards that can help define your API. Following a team-centered approach and focusing on collaboration uh, are key to organizing all of your APIs together in workspaces and APIs and collections. A good example would be how we organize our APIs in Postman. So we are a microservices first driven organization. So I'm not sure as of today, but uh, the last time I checked, we have a setup in Postman where every service that we have is a workspace in itself, and all the owners, be it front end engineers, back end engineers, designers, tech writers that work on a specific service are part of that workspace. And this is how we collaborate using Postman workspaces. But the structure in which be it workspaces, APIs, or collections are set up is pretty fluid, which allow uh, any team to modify and change according to your team structure and your organization structure. A few other factors to consider when managing APIs are versioning. How you version your APIs, schemas, and other artifacts will impact the size of your collections, environments, and how you name and organize their environments. And stages, creating logical stages for be it QA, staging, development, and production will impact how your collections, environments, and workspaces come together. And governance, the maturity of your API lifecycle and how you measure, monitor, report, and engage with teams about your APIs are delivered and operated with will be a much more complex conversation. And Postman provides rules and permissions, which will give you ability to manage teams with ease. As you can see, uh, there are two major sections in terms of roles and permissions. At a team level, there's an admin, billing, developer, and community manager role. As a team admin, you have power to define Postman access at a team level, workspace level, collection level, and at an API level, where Postman's role-based access control system enables you to limit visibility of team resources, define your development workflow, and provide access to administrative and billing personnel. And when it comes to roles within the developer, since content creation is possible by everyone in Postman, as long they have a developer role, they can collaborate on the Postman team instance and work with APIs. And now, when it comes to workspace level roles, admin can manage workspace details and members of that workspace. And collaborators within a workspace can work on team resources in a specific workspace. And for all the other artifacts like APIs, collections, and environments, there's an editor and a viewer role. And it's pretty straightforward to manage these roles. At a workspace level, you can manage roles. Uh, you can view and you can manage roles right here. And as you can see, you can exchange roles between admin and collaborator right here. And let's say at a collection level, I don't have a collection here, so I'm quickly going to switch my workspace. At a collection level or environment or API level, you always have an option to click on the ellipsis button and head over to manage roles and then give people an editor or a viewer access. And you can also invite other users here and give them the appropriate access that is needed. And it's the same for all the other artifacts like workspaces. And then we have billing and upgrades. We look at the billing dashboard and we look at the ways in which you can navigate to adding licenses or changing your plans and that whole setup. We are back in the workspace section on the Postman app. Now let's head back to the manage team page. Uh, I'll be now heading over to the billing section in my Postman under the team section in my Postman team. So this gives us an overview of the billing information that we have, where you can navigate to billing overview, where you get to know what your current subscription is. You can also head over to add-ons, like we've seen before, uh, where you can purchase additional add-ons based on your requirement. There's account history that you can go through and look at your past invoices also. One thing to note is you can add user starts from this section or click on this ellipsis option to change plan at any point in time, modify add-ons, or set instructions for your next billing cycle. And it's really simple. All that you need to do is uh, edit standing instructions. Let's say you want to upgrade to your new plan as at your next renewal date. All you need to do is switch plan and accordingly make changes in the purchase page. And that pretty much sums up almost all the things I wanted to cover today. Yeah, we just did the demo. So we've looked at understanding the role of an admin, how to manage team membership settings like SSO and beyond. We looked at managing and organizing APIs within workspaces, roles. We looked at roles and permissions, and we also learned about how to change team plan and add licenses. I'll spend a few minutes to see if there are any questions and try to answer them now. And while doing that, I'll also showcase some of the resources. So we have our Postman Support Center, which is postman.com/support, from where you can head over to our GitHub page, where you can file feature requests or bugs, and you can also navigate to our Trello page or directly Trello page to look at our public product roadmap, or you can interact with our support team by filing a ticket. The Postman Learning Center is a great place to learn about Postman. So if you're new to Postman, getting started, that's our official documentation website, which will help you learn everything about Postman. It could be features or workflows or anything. And Postman community is my favorite place to hang out. It's where people from all over the Postman community help each other. So that's something to keep your eyes on.
Thanks so much for that chat, Harsha. I just looked in the chat and the Slido, and I don't see any questions. We did have some comments from Melanie. Thank you for the notes. I'm not sure if you have anything to plug afterwards, Harsha, but I'm moderating another talk, Adopting Postman at Kroger. And I wanted to give you the opportunity, Harsha, if you wanted to tell folks about other things you're doing.
Yeah, I'll just spend a minute. I just saw a question by Melaine Paul. Would love to see a way to be able to send an email to all users in a team. Okay, that's a good one, Melaine. That's something that we don't have now, but I think we have a feature request file, and I'll see if I can point that to you as soon as we end the session. Also, see per workspace how many collections are created per workspace. Yep, I'm not sure if we've got that in the reporting feature yet, but I'll keep you posted on that. All right, thank you everyone. I hope this was helpful. Feel free to DM me if you have any following questions. Thank you.